Okay, guys. This morning I want to talk about health care and how the state of Indiana is being fraudulent. I have a quadriplegic son on a ventilator, need 24/7 care. Got an agency to come in last year. So I lived in Bloomington, Illinois. So in order for the timesheets to be signed, they would fax them to me, but I wasn't getting them. And I kept telling them I wasn't getting them. So here is timesheets without my signature on it. And I want you to pay attention. All of this stuff they do down here, they do not do. Timesheet. Another. Do not do these works that they do. They say they do. Timesheet. Sign. Timesheet. Don't do the work they say they do. Sign. Timesheets. Sign. First of all, my son cannot sign no timesheets because he's a quadriplegic on a ventilator. He never gave anyone permission to sign his name. These are not his signature. This is not my son's signature. It's not his signature. Here goes some more timesheets. No signature on them. All of this the lady putting down she do not do. Another one. Timesheet. All the things she say she do, she had no clue how to do. Timesheets. So that's one part of the fraudulent. Assigning timesheets that they're not providing for the patients. So I question that. If you're not, let's go back a minute. My son gets 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for nurses to be in here. My son should have respite. He should have a homemaker. He should have physical therapy and occupational therapy. My son should have a nurse, a wound care nurse, Meals on Wheels. That's the only thing he get every day. Some days most of the days, not some. I probably get a nurse from 5 to 10. 3 days out of a week, that's 5 hours. And I might get a nurse from 11 to 7 if she don't have an emergency. So, one nurse broke his bed. And the agency lady here was doing recertification on him. The nurse was. As you see, 613. 613, Linda Lewis. My handwriting is nowhere signed on there because they broke my son's bed. So she forgot to get me to sign it. So, again, to keep showing you how bad it is for the state agencies that they contracting these second and third parties to get a care to these patients, but they fraudulently billing the state for hours that nurses are not in here. The only thing the supervisor, who's supposed to be his wound care nurse, come in here and do, look at his butt, take a picture, and measure. That's when I insist that she come and do it. Once my son's bed was broke, on 6/13/2018, Miss Linda Lewis brought a bed from her office that a quadriplegic cannot be on. They had special beds they had to be on and mattresses. You know, when I told her she could not, my son could not lay on that mattress, it's still on the side of my house right now today. And this is October the, 4th or 5th? That mattress is still sitting on the side of my house that she wanted my son to lay on, but then she take it and throw it in the garbage. But I took them to court for that. And the judge sided with me for my son to get another mattress. I won that case, so I'm not going to continue on with that case. But to show you a lot of fraudulent things they done. When the medical supply company brought my son a mattress out, it was not his correct mattress that they took out of my house. The judge sided with me on that. I had pictures and everything. Most of the night nurses that come here, they go to sleep. We got a nurse named Michelle, October the 9th, like 2 weeks prior to that. She was telling me that my son should have a cup on his circuits to keep the mist from going up the circuit. I said, yes, some patients do have that. But see, my son don't have a peak. So most of the ones without a peak, they don't get them cups. So she gonna try to prove me wrong. While I'm in the bed asleep, she cuts my son's circuit. So my son vent kept going off. So I get up and I see her suctioning my son. He couldn't talk to tell me what she did. She hurried up and said, he's cold. I said, okay, well, y'all didn't turn up the heat. So I went on and turned up the heat, laid back down. My son vent still going off. So I get up. And remind you, she cut it at 11:15, 11:20 that night. So about 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I get up. I walk over to my son and look at his vent to see why it's going off, if he uncomfortable. I see she didn't cut my son circuit and put this cup on it. She didn't even take his stats to see. The agency, I asked for an accident report. To this day, I have not gotten an accident report. Something like that should be reported to the state. This lady is still working. Let alone my pills and money was coming up missing. My son pills. I got an organizer. First time I put it in an organizer. Tramadols. These are the only pills that was missing out of his organizer. Only 3 nurses was coming here. One of them had just started. The pills was coming up missing before she started. See, I'm an honest person because I tell the truth and I ask questions, which most people don't, because they don't study what they loved ones supposed to have with the agencies. When I signed that contract, they knew exactly how many hours they was supposed to have a nurse here. It wasn't because of me. I never did nothing to a nurse but treated them nice in my home. Even if they went to sleep, I didn't wake them up long as they heard that vent, which they knew they was not supposed to be asleep. Most of the nurses come up in here, they 70, almost 80 years old, don't know how to suction a patient, do not know how to do bowel programs, do not know how to use the compasses, do not know how to use a vest, do not know nothing about the vent but two nurses. And that was Patrice and Michelle, the one who cut his vent. She been disconnected my son vent without my knowledge. I was refused to have an ambulance to take my son to Northwestern because Methodist South Lake had already injured my son because they didn't know nothing about the trach that was down his throat. And they took his trach out. After we just changed his trach, talking about something was wrong with it, and then take the saline out of it. So his lungs collapsed. And he was in worse shape than he was when he got there. So I had my son transferred to Northwestern. It's always an excuse. Once they knew the state, they ain't know the state was coming out unless somebody told them. But they was, oh, I'm in the office doing this paperwork and this and that. And you know why? Because they was trying to cover their butts. That's why. All this stuff is fraudulent. It's fraudulent. Don't try to blame me because you don't care about the patients that the state is paying you to take care of. Yes, I'm going to fight for my son. I done called the Attorney General office. I done called the state, which they came out here. But how far do that really go? That these people are buking the states out of millions of dollars. And these patients do not have the nurses that they supposed to have. So who's signing the timesheets? Or when a patient get hurt, it's not reported to the state. I done called the news. All I want to do is take care of my son. He didn't even get wound supplied for 4 months. Every time you talk to the nurse, she talking about the person she worked with died, or this person died, or this. Hey, what about my son? He's still living. I have to do everything by myself. Feed him, cook for him, wash him up, do the bowel program. Let alone I got guardianship of his son. But these agencies out here, they don't have enough nurses to provide the care in Indiana that they should have for these patients. Now, let's go up into August. August the 9th. Let me back that up. It was in the middle of August or the end. When the nurse back Curl, I let her know my son is diabetic. Because she wanted to cut his toes and cut his, feet. He's a diabetic. She see an ingrown toenail and she digging my son's toe. And to this day, my son is still crying about his toe. The agency claimed they are going to pay for it. And that been since August. And my son to this day still have not saw a foot doctor yet. Keep talking about they waiting on a referral. Don't nobody want to touch somebody's foot if your nurses messed them up. If my name ain't Keila Marie Brooks, I'm going to fight for my son. And I'm going to make sure that everybody that's doing deceptive things and fraudulent and not supplying these patients with the care they supposed to have, even from transportation. I'ma keep bugging the state. I'ma keep bugging the Attorney General office. I'ma stay on top of everything when it comes to my son and his care, and all these disabled people who cannot get the care they need. They allow my son to stay in his bed for 4-5 months without pain medication. He has kidney problems. He had liver problems. He got a pacemaker. He got colon problems. Excuse me for a minute. Hello? This is Keela. Yes. Okay. Please do. Yes, I am. Okay, 1 o'clock, 2 what's good for you? I can't go nowhere. It's no nurses here. So I'm here. 1:30 is fine. Okay, I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. All right. Bye-bye. Now, that was the Attorney General office. See, I'm going to work this because I want them to know the truth. I want them to know what they have put me and my son through for this last almost year. It's been over a year that they have been doing these things to my son and to me, or to try to find out any bad thing about me and my son, to have my son put in a nursing home. Because why else would you be trying to have your nurses take pictures in my house of my son Cam? I had a right to have security in my house. And if his father is not here, that's none of you guys' business. Long as my son is not in a violent place, which he is not, and you questioning your nurse what's going on in my house to try to get evidence on me where I cannot take care of my kid, my son that I birthed July the 3rd, 1990 at 6:27, and stayed at the hospital with him for 9 months and helped the doctors side by side to save my son's life. Is that what you do? You have no dignity. You are not compassionate. These agencies have no compassion. It's all about money for all of them. But see, I'm going to get a resolution for my son. I want you all to know, fight for your loved ones. Yeah, it hurt. That's why everybody always hollering, black people take care of your own. No, blacks are the ones that keep on screwing us. I got one good nurse in this house. One. I got to get ready for the Attorney General investigator to come to my house. But I hope all goes well. And if you know your loved one's supposed to have a certain amount of time in their house, and they're not doing it, you question What are they sending to the state? Or you're not getting nurses and nobody calling you to tell you no nurse coming. You as a loved one cannot get to a doctor. You can't take care of none of your personal business. Fight for them. Stand up. Fight for them. I thought it was bad in Illinois, but they doggone show better than Indiana. I never had problems with supplies or getting what my son needed. They never left my son in pain, especially when he's not on the right bed that's causing more bed sores. You all have a great morning, and you will be hearing from me again. My name is Keela Brooks, fighting for the disabled, disability rights of our disabled loved ones. It's time. We don't have to be in groups. It's time for these second and third parties that the state is paying to come out and take care of your loved ones, and they not doing it or not providing the care. It's time for you to stand up. Enjoy your day.